This is the Checka Pro Radio Show. Checka Pro Joe has assembled a team of pre-qualified home service contractors to bring you the latest in services, products, and techniques. Now, here's your host, the man with a hard hat and tool belt, Checka Pro Joe.
The garage door is something many of us take for granted. As a matter of fact, many of us just go in and out of it all the time, all day long. That's right. The husband, the wife, the kids, maybe the maid goes in that way to clean the house. Maybe the grandparents are coming over to come visit, and they don't use the front door anymore. Many people use the garage door, and we do take that for granted. What I mean by that is we expect it to go up and down when we tell it to. Whether we're using a button on the wall, a button in our vehicle, or maybe on an app. But guess what? Sometimes it just doesn't work. If you keep your garage door maintained on a regular basis, you're going to have a lower chance of it not operating when you want it to. I've asked Stephanie Carter, she is an expert from A1 Door Company, to join me here on the program to talk about maintenance. Stephanie, how are you?
Hey, Joe. I'm doing great. How are you?
I am living the dream. Thank you so much for asking. Maintenance is important. Wouldn't you agree with me, though, that people do take their garage door for granted?
Absolutely. Performing preventative maintenance on your garage door at least once a year is crucial. And like you said, a lot of people use their garage as the main entry point to their home. A standard spring lifespan on your garage door is about 10,000 cycles. A cycle is opening and closing your door just one time. And if multiple people are using the garage, like mom, dad, brother, sister, dog walker, you could be opening and closing your door 8 to 12 times per day. So most people don't realize how important their garage door's functionality is until they're in their car, ready to pull out of their garage, and it won't open.
I totally agree. It's not quite like the hinged doors. So the front door of your home, that could swing forever. It'll probably swing longer than you're alive. But it doesn't have a high tension spring on it. It's just a hinge, and it's metal on metal, and if you lubricate it, it's better, but it's not going to all of a sudden stop working. If you hear a bang from your garage door, it's probably not a gunshot or a firecracker, unless you know someone's setting that off. It could be the spring, and sometimes the spring will just break. And when it breaks, it can make a loud noise. And then you go out and you try to open up the garage door because it's time to take the kids to school. And you're wondering why the garage door opener isn't allowing the garage door to move. And then you try to pull it up yourself by hand, and you're like, what is going on? And then you remember you heard a big pop. What happened in that instance, Stephanie?
So this happens all the time. People call and they say, oh my gosh, I just heard the loudest sound. I went to my garage, I tried to open it, and it didn't open. And they'll always say, my cable snapped, but typically 9 times out of 10, it's a broken spring. We recommend that you lubricate that spring every time the season changes, but definitely at least once a year. I would say the broken spring is the number one top reason why we make our service calls and repairs to homeowners' homes.
So you're telling my listeners that a lubricated spring will last longer?
We do recommend that you lubricate that spring because the more it's lubricated, the longer lifespan it does have. When a spring gets dried out and rusty, it's more susceptible to crack.
Absolutely. While you're lubricating the spring, there are also a lot of things that are moving. There are a lot of hinges, there are rollers. What do you recommend there?
Definitely, you want to spray a garage door lubricant on your rollers, your hinges, basically all moving parts. You want to keep those well lubricated and maintained. And the best way to do that is to call a professional garage door company because they know exactly what to look for.
That's absolutely true. So I had these great garage doors installed a few years ago. The company that did it came out about a year later to do a tune and lube on it. I had noticed, though, before that one of the garage doors wasn't really moving as smoothly as it had been. And sure enough, the entire track system kind of moved a bit to the left. and they had to readjust it. So the reason why I bring this up, everybody, is you don't know for sure if there needs to be an adjustment. The longer your garage door is not running where it's supposed to run. In other words, if it's off a little bit, there's going to be all kinds of pressure on parts. You could be bending things and wearing things out quicker. It's really a great rule to have a company like A1 Door Company come out every year.
Absolutely. It's so important to have. We have membership plans where we come out every single year at the same time to keep up with that and maintain your door. So it's something you don't have to think about doing every single year.
Stephanie, I really appreciate you taking time out to join me here on the program today. This has been some great information and great advice for our listeners. A1 Door Company, Stephanie Carter is the president. I thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Check-A-Pro is your local source for pre-qualified contractors. Stay tuned for more of the Check-A-Pro Radio Show.